filmmakers. Do we have any filmmakers in the audience? Yeah, good. So yeah, we've got some fantastic films for you tonight. Some films about London, and some films with quite a few films about nature, and some films with poems in. It's quite a poetic evening tonight. My name's Cliff Top, and that's my filmmaking name, actually. And so we've also got tonight, we've got a couple of trailers to longer films, longer events. And the first one is a trailer to a 40-minute film by me. And we're going to start with that. Okay, it's good. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get down to it. So it's called The Crack of Life. Thank you. Is this working? Oh, yes. All right. Any questions? If you do want to ask some questions, we've kind of set up a kind of Discord chat room if anybody wants to ask questions at a later point, and we could answer them. Well, yeah, maybe you can make some suggestions in the Discord. Yeah. So yeah. Well, does anybody have any ideas where we can show 40-minute movies? Please let me know. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Right. Well, it's a experimental film. It does have a kind of story, but it's about a young man who goes to Scotland and has an epiphany, basically. And Does it sound good to me? um, yeah, and he's got big dreams, and he gets up on the table, does a dance, and hideously embarrasses himself, and ends up outside on the street, and ends up walking up into the mountains, and has an epiphany. So that's kind of the gist. What? I can't hear that. I think this is going to be a sequel. After I've shown the first one, yes. All right, so I'll move on. So the next film is by Jack Wormel, and it's called Rapture. I'm not sure that is Jack here tonight. I think he said he couldn't be here. Is he on the Zoom? No. Anyway, let's watch his film.
Swamps of wild rushbeds and sour squashy traces, grounds of rough fallows with thistle and weed, flats and low valleys of kingcups and daisies, sweetest of subjects are you for my reed. Your commons are free in the rude rags of nature. Your brown heaths are clothed in furs as you be. My wild eye in rapture adores every feature. You are dear as this heart in my bosom to me. O native endearments, I would not forsake you. I would not forsake you for sweetest of seeds, for sweet as the gardens that nature could make me. I would not forsake you, dear valleys and greens. nature never dropped you a cloud-resting mountain, nor waterfall tumble their music so free. Had nature denied you a bush, tree, or fountain, you still had been loved as Eden by me. And long, my dear valleys, long, long may you flourish, though rush beds and thistles make waste of your pride. May showers never fail the green daisies to nourish, nor suns dry the fountain that rills by the side. Your skies may be gloomy and misty your mornings, your flat swampy valleys unwholesome may be. Still, refuse of nature, without her adornings, you are dear as this heart in my bosom to me.
Some fantastic birds in there. That was Jack Wormel with Rapture. Jack's not here tonight, is he? All right. So the next film is by Ben Mosca, and it's called Squeeze, and it's another very short film. Do we happen to have Ben Mosca on the Zoom? No. All right. So short and sweet. Here you go. I hope you find it refreshing. What I wanted to know, it's a shame he's not here, is does anybody actually drink like straight lemon juice without, anybody in the audience drink straight lemon juice without any sugar or anything? Wow, what is that like? Is it like that? No, no, it's lemon, definitely lemon. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's shift it round. So, any interesting morning drinks of choice? Any refreshing drinks recommended? Orange. That's original. Okay. All right. So the next film also features birds. Well, actually, that last one didn't feature birds, but the one before did. Anyway, uh, yeah, the theme of migration. So this next film is As Long as I Can Hold My Breath by Mohammed Thara. Yeah, fantastic film by Mohammed Thara there, reminding us that migration is a natural phenomenon. Um, Next up, we have Jonathan Bauer and Steel Wool. Is Jonathan here tonight? Oh, fantastic. Enjoy. So, Jonathan, would you come and tell us a bit about your film? Would you like to? I've certainly got some questions I'd love to ask.
Is it working? Yes.
Well, that was fantastic. I've always liked steel wool.
It's a good useful material.
It's incredible,
Versatile.
isn't it? Yeah, it's revolutionized my milk pot.
Yeah.
but-
I actually got quite into steel wool as a sort of domestic material because I
Okay.
bought so much of it that I started using it for
Oh, wow.
what it's intended for. I
Okay.
realized it's very good for cleaning.
Did you did you did you record the sound of it as well? The soundtrack, I was very intrigued. It was that kind of brittle, so, you know, how did you get that?
The soundtrack is just the kind of ambient sound when I was filming it.
Right.
That I just sort of took bits of and stretched it and sort of pulled it as far as.
It did have a sort of metallic twang.
Yeah. But I just found effects that I sort of liked the sound of.
Yeah.
Like the flanger. Yeah. There's a lot of flanger on that. That seemed to kind of reflect the sort of metallic vibe.
Yeah, I get that. And I was very intrigued, like the movements that you got going. How did you do that? What inspired you to follow those kind of routes?
So I set fire to a lot of steel wool. Because during I kind of got the idea during lockdown when I was doing little kind of home science experiments with my daughter, and found out that you can burn steel wool very easily with a 9-volt battery. So I didn't involve her in that, but it was a good way to kind of fill the time during lockdown. So I gave it a try, and it turns out that it burns very easily and successfully if you kind of get fine grade steel wool. So I just got a lot of that, and I knew that my phone was on the way out, so I had the freedom to stick it in the middle of a load of burning metal.
Wow.
And finish it off.
So those little sperm things, which kind of disappear.
If that's what you see, yeah.
So were they like burning?
Yeah, that's the heat. That's the kind of the sort of flame or whatever it is traveling along the really kind of fine grade wool.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I got through quite a lot of it.
It's very beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any questions from the audience?
Okay, wait.
Hello there.
Outside of this, was this your is this the first film you've made? Because it's was it the material that made you want to make a film, or were you a filmmaker before?
No, I was a filmmaker before, and I used to make lots of promo films and things like that, and sort of charity films and stuff. And I stopped doing that because the budgets were getting squeezed and the films were getting worse. So I was kind of getting worse at what I was doing. So I decided to stop doing it and muck around with this sort of thing instead. So I think it's the second or third fully abstract film, or kind of semi-abstract film, that I've made, I think. Thanks. Thank you. I will.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, next up, we've got a film from Russia by Diana. Sorry. I'm sorry, Diana. Zanova. Sorry, I've got your name wrong. And Lisa Niskila, I think it is. Ivan the Wolf and the Grey Tsarevich.
Границы между существами. Кто сказал, что они реальны? Я чувствую себя словно море, словно ревущий ураган. Моя ярость и гнева хватит, чтобы высоко перепрыгнуть эти границы. чтобы затопить их океаном моей боли, который нет конца. В этом мире бессмысленных, жестоких случайностей, о которых я думаю, когда крадусь мимо школы, где дети во дворе играют в футбол, мимо села, где матери нянчат детей. Как бы я хотел быть обычным мальчиком. Играть, учиться и даже быть наказанным. Лишь бы не видеть в отражении в воде эту покрытую черной шерстью огромную морду с пылающим цветком алого языка. С этим мясным запахом, срывающимся с зубов. Я съел твоего коня, Иван Царевич. Теперь я буду тебе служить, пока не пойму, каково это быть человеком.
Бросая на него мутный взгляд, Иван отвечал: «Ты говоришь о гневе и о своих границах. О, если бы ты знал, как моя ярость просится наружу, как она молит перепрыгнуть границы человеческого существа».
Кинуться в черный лес. Носиться по лунным лужайкам.
Самозабвенно выть, вкладывая в этот бой всю боль мира и жизни. Волк, серый волк, ты не знаешь, как я был бы счастлив! Я отдал тебе своего коня, чтобы, обнимая тебя в полете, почувствовать хоть под пальцами эту суровую шерсть. Впервые в жизни не открылся тебе, вышел к тебе безоружным, и ты мог разорвать меня, но мне было бы уже все равно.
Вместе, обнявшись и слившись почти в одно, Волк и Иван меняются своими ролями. Это химера, летящая по ночам, в страну мертвых, чтобы вернуться к утру и провозгласить рассвет, освещенная красным встающим солнцем на глазах Василисы Премудрой.
Fantastic. Are Lisa and Diana here on Zoom with us? No, they're not there. Okay, that's a shame. So they're in Russia. So they probably went to bed or something. Yeah, because it's a lot later. Anyway, fantastic. If you do want to ask any questions about that, like I say, you could we could relay the questions to them, and you could have a chat with them maybe on Discord. We have a chat room that will be running for a while, so we'll give you the address of that later on. So we've got one more film. Yeah, by the way, I just wanted to say, I'm sure most of you probably know this, but all the films that are sent into Exploding Cinema, we basically show any films that are sent into us. We don't decide, we don't curate the films. We obviously decide to put them in an order and so on, but we don't curate them. So it's open to everybody, which is great. Anyway, we've got one more film, and that is. It's by Anne Pigow, and it's called The Soho Connection. And I think Anne might be here tonight. Are you here, Anne? Yeah, fantastic. All right, so maybe we can have a chat afterwards. I'm sorry? Okay. Okay, explain it afterwards. All right, here we go.
So, mon amour, blue neon in a car, a sniff of coke, the ghost of a Huguenot of coke. So, mon amour, oh, so my love, so un autre jour, my love, so un autre jour.
We're on the stage. Please welcome. We're on the stage. Please welcome. Just to let you know that the dog show is just beginning. So take your picture.
We are the Bells of London City!
The party animals on the London scene, because there's many a guest who's been to the George. There's many a guest who's been to the George.
Here we are, Anne. We're in Little Italy. This place has been here since 1996.
Little Italy. This place has been here
which is the same owner.
1996.
Been there. They're celebrating their 70th year,
which is the same
owner. It was a great place to come in the old days. Soho in the 50s was quite different to that now. I mean, in the sense that there was always been prostitution. And there's prostitution today. It's not quite so obvious. But in them days, when I first came in the 50s, there were prostitutes literally on the corners. You know, and we used to have fun watching them and following them around, see what was going on down dark alleys. Soho is quite well known for these single doors along every street. You don't know where they go. I remember going to a friend of mine's studio a while ago in Dean Street, and she said, "Oh, don't go there, they don't go anywhere." There was actually a door at the bottom of the staircase that never went anywhere. And you used to think to yourself, "My God, what was that? What went on in there then?" So they're like these sort of secret, like a secret maze.
Like a secret maze.
What do you want?
I'd say no one.
What do you want?
I'd say no one. You're still here. You're still here.
You would go to a place like that and get laid. I really would rather be in a place like that and get laid. I really would rather.
When I arrived in Soho, I arrived with long wooden earrings, my hair in a bun, black tie, but I love dancing. I mean, I can't say I didn't love dancing. I love dancing. I mean, I can't say I didn't love dancing. I did love dancing. I think that we should be preserving the theatres, not making them into nightclubs. We should be preserving the theatres. And everybody thinks the Windmill was a nightclub. It was never a nightclub. And everybody thinks the Windmill was a nightclub. It was never a nightclub. And it was like a repertory theatre for dancers, performers, and it was like a repertory theatre for dancers, performers. One of the boys was very interested in art, and he had a friend called Frank. One of the boys was very interested in art, and he had a friend called Frank, who was a very good friend of Francis Bacon. Frank said to me, one day, why don't we go over to see Francis Bacon? He's got a new. Why don't we go over to see Francis Bacon? He's got a new studio in East Smithfield. A new studio over there. You know, everybody was going. You know, nobody would go to the East End. We were all everybody was going. You know, nobody would go to the East End. Cut a long story short, I went over there and met Francis Bacon. Cut a long story short, I went over there and met Francis Bacon. And he offered me 3 pictures. He said to me, "Would you like?" And he offered me 3 pictures. I don't think I would have bought them now, but when I hear how much they're worth, I don't think I would have bought them now. But when I hear how much they're worth, why didn't I buy them? Somebody said to me, which is the best thing that happened to you in your life that you regret? I said, meeting Francis Bacon and not buying his pictures. I said, meeting Francis Bacon and not buying his pictures.
Without travelling have been very, very scarce, you know. I've been working and drinking, very, very scarce. Working and drinking. Working and then drinking. Working and drinking.
I haven't seen it for nearly 200 years. There's a mnemonic that taxi drivers use to remember which are 4 of our main streets. Greek Street, which are Frith Street, Dean Street, Wardour Street, Frith Street, Harriet, Dean Street, Good Wardour Street, or Dodgy Women. She wasn't there. Soho. What's it stand for? Soho. The sense of humour, obligatory. Sense of humour, obligatory.
We have a new contestant. Enjoy the afternoon. Enjoy the afternoon. Okay, so then Saturday, I've got somebody dancing there.
Yeah.
one person, I think.
No, lately. Well, I've seen her at the Café de Paris some years ago, actually. And some other years ago, she had that wild affair with Frank Sinatra. Yeah, and then, of course, I've seen beautiful Marlena at the Queen's Theatre with the introduction by Noel Coward.
With the introduction by
she gave a
Noel Coward.
magnetic magical performance.
She gave a magnetic magical performance.
Comparison I make for what is happening in Soho now is within that area. We had a lot of bombs during the war, but there were quite small bombs. We had a lot of bombs during the war. So I've actually just drawn on this chart of Soho what is the situation now. There's all these red rings, which I'll show you here. We just call them bombs because they'll have the same effect. Because when you look at foils, old foils has been pulled down. If you really look hard down what they've done, they've not only taken foils down, they've taken Wedgwood Mews down, they've taken the interior of the buildings in Greek Street, and you just have the facade of Greek Street left, and that's just one bomb. Now at the present moment, if you look out this window, you see a crane has appeared in the last 4 weeks, and it's beginning to help lock down Denman Street. That's all the area behind the Piccadilly Circus, the great signs, the illuminated signs in Soho. We call it the Oxford Street, Regent Street creep. The period we call the sexploitation period in the 70s and 80s. When I had 186 sex shops in Soho, worth nothing to do with sex. It was to do with laundry and dirty money. It was doing criminality. Police were involved. Officials were involved. And, you know, the head of the Flying Squad got 8 years. Imprisonment. It's an interesting question to ask. Who owned all those sex shops at that time? And who owns all those buildings now? At that time. You had these, as I said, this new race of corporate man, and they don't care anything about what is happening in the area. And it's a place where the diasporas, first people that came here were the Greeks as refugees from the Turkish invasion, then the Huguenots came, then the French Revolution, refugees came, and then the Jews came twice, the pogroms, and they were followed by the Italians and the Chinese Indians. And the Irish and the Welsh came in here after the famine in Ireland. The Huguenots, their contribution was great. Soho's accepted. It's always been like that. And there was Michael Caine next to a couple of students sharing one bottle of wine between 7 of them. It's all happening in a basement usually in Soho. Most of the modern music started in Soho. The street was full of swinging harpsichord makers in 1740. It still has that vitality, and we must hang on to it. Maybe there still is a chance to save a little bit of it. Maybe there still is a chance to save a little bit of it. Who's Bazalgette? Bazalgette is to probably save more lives than anybody you can think of, because they introduced the new design, the new sewer system of London, miles and miles of sewer. And ironically enough, at this moment in time, it was only because of the big stink when all the effluent of London went into the Thames, and by the tide it actually went around the Houses of Parliament. And it was such a horrible smell. They couldn't actually continue their debates. So that actually spurred on them to do something about the sewer system. That actually seems to have a bit of a protest at the present moment, but there we are.
Fantastic. Anne, would you like to come and have a chat about your film? That would be brilliant. Just to say, while Anne's coming up here, yeah, it's the interval coming up. That's the last one before the interval, not and there will be a raffle. So don't go away. Well, would you like one of these?
I made this just before COVID, and it starts to look a little bit old, now. But since that, I have interviewed 50 more people. And this was just the kind of the basis, the past about Soho. So now I'm trying to see how we're going to take Soho into the future. Because now that we know London belongs to the rich, we really have to going to start to move quickly. So basically, everybody kind of like that. I did this for a bit of fun because I've been breathing so for 40 years. And now I think it's going to extend into like a 4 hours completely mad project, because I'm firstly a performer, but the day that there won't be one single club left in Soho, there will always be a room where we can show a film. So that's why I actually did this film. And I don't know, have you got a couple of questions for me? Sorry? all the people in the films are my friends. They all live in Soho or they're working in Soho. The old guy at the end, I was very lucky to get him because he died a couple of months after that. And he's actually the guy that started, he was one of the patrons of the BFI, and he was the patron of Soho because he ran the Soho Society magazine. And he knew absolutely everything about it. So he wasn't really scared to tell you who the crooks were. I know. And sometimes, I can't perform because they will kind of blacklist me. So I know a lot about this place, and I know, time is passing by, but I really want to make things happen. And I hope you're going to be with me. I'm organizing a couple of things in the next 2 months. An exhibition about Soho, about paintings and stuff, and a kind of a music show. So I hope you all come because it's got to change. We are becoming the slaves. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. Online, my website at anpigal.com. The social media.
Oh, she wants to talk to you in the interval.
Yeah. My friend James DC is here. That's kind of why I'm here. Everybody knows James DC here. I wanted to finish by a poem that is not that too long. It's a poem about Soho, and I think that sums it up because
Can I ask a question?
No.
Oh, the mic does work now, apparently. Thank you. Briefly, there was a lot of talk from the building owners about bringing back Madame Jojo's. Do you know anything about what's happening with that place?
Well, the granddaughter of Paul Raymond inherited a third of Soho, so they have Madame Jojo's. They will reopen it as a tourist place, I mean, most places now in Soho is tourist. A couple of places, maybe not, Bar Italia, And it was really interesting to see who wanted to actually talk to me and who didn't want to talk to me.
Raymond, girl.
Well, we talked on Facebook about 4 years ago, and she insulted me, and she said, I'm an artist. Because I've always done, I've played everywhere in Soho, and I've organized things with people that used to live there and work there. So obviously these people are not young anymore, So she said she didn't want that. She didn't want the kind of real community of Soho. She said she wants to transform Soho like a kind of Singapore place, They just get the rent, it's becoming more and more expensive. She said, I'm an artist. And she said, if you're vicious to me, you're going to get wrinkles. And I didn't have time to take a picture of it. She blocked me. Anyway, so I'm not interested in interviewing the Paul Raymond people because there was a film about it.
Yeah, I know what they're like, but I think that bringing back Madame Jojo's is probably lies. Because up until 2023, there was loads of publicity saying they were going to.
They will.
Now they've gone very, very quiet. And as far as I'm aware, it's just a 2-floor hole in the ground where we lost a really sort of magnificent
well, it's just a question of time because things take time.
I think it's a big loss for the LGBT community, particularly. I know it wasn't just that.
It will get back, and they will, of course.
I believe that because I think they're not going to bring it back. But I hope you're right.
It's money. It's a lot of money, and it's kind of they want to control art. They will bring back the LGBT side to it, but they will bring the touristic LGBT side. But that's why we have to do something about it. I mean, everybody has been very compliant, and it's not good enough. I feel like I'm the last one who's trying to do something about it because Soho was really the place where the music started. As the guy said, 40,000 French Huguenots came between Spitalfields and Soho, and they brought along with them, the idea of a Bohemia. Even Francis Bacon, he said it himself. When he went to Monaco and France, that's really when he brought back, the idea of, what he did, So the music, the communities, it's all really started. It's all the great bands, they all met in Soho. They all used to play in Soho, the Stones, whoever. And this is not happening at the moment because it's all become a members clubs. And so it's for the rich. One more time, So I'm going to do this poem because yeah. Okay.
Oh, can I ask one question? Just one question.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for showing your film.
You can.
There was a quite a range of footage. I was just curious from a filmmaking perspective, like what your input was and how you found your footage and what you actually shot yourself.
I shot it all. It's all mine. And even at the beginning, which is the Madame Jojo's 80s footage, is mine. I used to live in Soho then. You know, I have breathed Soho for 40 years. And yes, all the footage, all the people is my friend, all the footage is mine. I mean, some is shot on films, on camera, as you can see, some is shot on cheap camcorder, you know. And now I'm moving into the next part of it. So this was a little prelude, but I really want to go big with this, you know, and lots of people are interested because everybody is not a sellout, you know. There are people like me. So we will see where it goes. So you can ask me more questions after, what?
I'd like to hear your part.
Yeah, so this is actually on one of my CDs, which is called The Deal, so it's actually put to a soundtrack, you know. But I think this kind of, for me, you know, that's what I do, I write songs, so this is how I express myself, and the film thing is a later addition, and I think I can do quite a lot with it. Okay, so this is called So Mon Amour, okay, and the first reference is to a French film for those who are film buffs. Our Letty chirps in Children of Paradise. Paris is so tiny when people with such a big love another. But the sun is heavy and hot and burning inside of my shoulder on my naked flesh. An unforgiving fleur-de-lis speaks for itself. I've walked Pigalle. No specific goal, no sense of self. There, Sunset Strip or Holloway Road, who cares? Peeling walls just look the same in France or anywhere else. My heart bleeds the red sticky stuff of the blessed Holy Virgin Mary from Calcutta in Spain. It's a vision from the moon. It will never go away. Yes, it always come back, that pain that poet call and don't call or recall as the misguided muse. Yeah. Everybody says I love you, but everybody has a curse and a cracked fuse. Also, mon amour, blue neon and a coal, a strut and a sniff of coke, a ghost of a Huguenot, also mon amour, also my love. Trains and boats are the biggest addiction to an unsettled soul. The dreams, the drips, the hopes, drip from your TV, your wall, your mole. It's fantasies and temptation that leads us to sleazy Soho. As for patron, St. Paul Raymond. But the glittering dirt has been painted over. Now it's just rose bonbon, bling offices, boutique hotels and cupcakes and virtual PlayStation. And that's before biting midnight. But no one here has forgotten that this place is all about sex, drugs, and crime after midnight. That's right. So now you see me breathing so, the final stop on the map. Oh, so wandering stars, hanging my sky like Christmas sparklers. Feel my heart and heal my scars. The morning dew twirls like my curls. The steam rises above the pavement, some nectar flowing through my scorched vein and asking for non-stop attention. Its need for distraction and entertainment is a minimum down payment to understand that behind that crackling facade of meandering corridors of brocade and velour lies the promise to be saved one day by the sacred whore, the sacred blood of here and now. So, mon amour. So
Thank you, Anne Pigalle.
and just to make, I mean, you can ask me questions now, but James, where are you? James? Okay, come because I want to give you your gift now. I have a gift for you, and it kind of gonna be the punchline to this. Okay.
All right, we're going to take a short interval.
Okay.
Yeah. So 20
yeah,
minutes.
but New World Order. Oh, right,
All right. All right. So thanks very much to Anne, and we're going to have a short interval, and you will be entertained by the music of Carnaby Show Band. So well done for him. And See you in a few minutes. Also features London.
Most of the choices I've made in my life
Most of the choices I've made in my life weren't really for me.
I received a lot of mixed messages growing up.
I received a lot of mixed messages growing up.
Am I Chinese?
Am I
British?
Chinese? Am I British?
I didn't know what I wanted to be.
I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Most of my friends were white British.
Most of my friends were white British.
But didn't know much about Chinese culture
But
or
didn't know
identity.
much about Chinese culture or identity.
To my parents, being Chinese was better.
To my parents, being Chinese was better.
It meant a stronger sense of family.
It meant a stronger sense of family,
better
food,
work.
a culture of respect and hard work.
They told me not to draw attention to myself.
They told me not to draw attention to myself.
Integrating was most important.
Integrating was most important.
That was the way to succeed.
That was the way to succeed.
Nobody said it's okay to be an individual.
Nobody said it's okay to be an individual. Not to fit in.
I resented it.
I resented it.
I wanted to feel normal.
I wanted to feel normal.
Differently because of the way I
looked. For people
looked.
not to treat me differently because of the way I looked.
I distinctly remember wanting to be white.
I distinctly remember wanting to be white.
But I conformed to the stereotype of a good Asian student.
To the stereotype of a good Asian student.
I knew which school subjects would get my parents' attention.
I knew which school subjects
which degree
would get
would
my
open
parents'
up a
attention.
successful career.
Which degree would open up a successful career.
It was someone else's checklist.
It was someone else's checklist.
I worked through it on autopilot.
And I worked through it on autopilot.
I got into Cambridge, got my degree, and rose to become a partner of a law firm.
And rose to become a partner of a law firm.
All that time, I didn't do anything true to myself.
I didn't do anything true to myself.
My family didn't talk about feelings.
My family didn't talk about feelings.
I probably only hugged my parents a handful of times.
Probably only hugged my parents a handful of times.
Everything's marked by food in Chinese
Everything's
culture.
marked
Occasions,
by food in
feelings,
Chinese culture.
Everything.
Occasions,
and I
feelings,
grew up working
everything.
in the family takeaway.
And I grew up working in
Chinese
the family
food
takeaway.
is such a huge
Chinese
part of my
food
identity.
Is such a huge part of my identity.
For feelings for
it's
a long
been a
time.
substitute for feelings for a
I
long
love
time.
cooking. And even now,
I love cooking,
people eating together and
even now,
sharing food
people
is
eating
so
together
important to me.
and sharing food is so important to me.
But growing up, I repressed my feelings.
Growing up, I repressed my
desires,
feelings, my desires,
my sexuality.
My sexuality.
I knew I was gay when I was about 11 years old.
I knew I was gay when I was about 11 years old.
Until university.
But didn't deal with it until university.
It's not common to be out and proud.
It's not common to be out and proud and East Asian.
I had gay friends at university, but
some
of the
friends
LGBT
at university
community had very black and white views.
community had
their
very
own
black and white views
about what
their
it
own
meant to be
stereotypes
gay.
about
it was hard
what
to
it
meet
meant
people
to be gay.
or
It
deal
was hard
with
to
being
meet
gay in a
people
mature
or
way.
deal with being gay in a mature
The whole
way.
experience was alienating.
The whole experience was alienating.
I didn't know how I wanted to be as a gay man.
I didn't know how I wanted to be as a gay
navigate
man.
my life.
How I wanted to navigate my life.
Even friends, straight and gay, said my sexual orientation was obvious.
Said my sexual orientation
I
was
felt
obvious.
uncomfortable being pigeonholed like that.
I felt uncomfortable being pigeonholed like that.
Whenever I thought someone might be gay,
Whenever
I waited
I
for them
thought someone
to say
might be
something.
gay, I waited for
listened
them to say
carefully and
something,
supported them,
listened carefully and supported them,
because that's what I wanted others to do for
because
me.
that's what I wanted others to do for me.
I would have come to terms with my sexuality
I would
in a
have
more
come to
healthy
terms
way
with my sexuality in a
more
more
awareness,
healthy way, had there been more
transparency,
awareness,
and
transparency,
kindness.
and kindness.
After university, I poured myself
After
into
university, I poured myself into work.
I wanted to earn enough money to be
I
truly
wanted to earn
independent.
enough money to be truly independent.
It wasn't really about finding my identity.
It wasn't
or
really about
respecting
finding my
own truth.
identity or respecting my own truth.
I was still focusing on goals driven
I
by
was still
social
focusing on
pressures,
goals
the need for
driven
other
by
people
social
to see me as a
pressures,
success.
the need for other people to see me as a success.
I'm rediscovering feelings, desires, and dreams that I've neglected for a long time.
Dreams that I've neglected for a long time.
It's time for them to come out.
It's time for them to come out.
Today I feel much better about
Today
who
I feel
am.
much better about who I am.
British-born Chinese is a convenient
British-born
label,
Chinese is
but
a
I'm no longer
convenient
trying
label.
to be more British
But I'm
or
no
more
longer trying to be
Chinese.
more British or more Chinese.
I am who I am.
I am who I am.
Everyone has to feel comfortable in their
Everyone
own
has
skin.
to feel comfortable in their own skin.
I'm still not sure exactly what my
I'm still not
identity
sure
is,
exactly what
but
my
I've learned not to
identity
do
is.
things just to satisfy
But I've learned
other
not to do
people's
things just to
expectations.
satisfy other people's expectations.
Do what you're most passionate about.
Do what you're
Find
most
the things you
passionate
love
about.
and work on those.
Find the things you love and work on those.
Surround yourself with things that bring
Surround
you joy.
yourself with things that bring you joy.
You'll enjoy what you do and how you
You'll
live.
enjoy what you do and how you live.
Don't speculate about each other.
Don't
Support
speculate
each
about
other.
each other. Support each other.
Listen. Most
Listen.
importantly, to yourself.
Most importantly, to yourself.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
It's where you'll find happiness.
It's where you'll find happiness.
Fantastic. Do we have Adam here tonight? Do you fancy coming up and having a chat, Adam? Ah, brilliant.
Hello.
Hello. Is that working?
Yes, it is on.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
What would you like to know?
Well, I thought that was I liked that way that film it sort of captured a lot of London as well. I thought sort of like the like how lonely London can feel, and yet how sort of giving it can feel. So it's sort of like that backdrop was interesting. How did you choose to make the film, and
Well, it was quite a strange sort of genesis. I basically decided that I wanted to make a film in the next 10 days. And it was in the middle of lockdown. So, well, it was that kind of semi-lockdown where you can kind of do a few things, but you had to stay like miles apart from anyone. And you got on a bus and it was empty and there was no people on there. So that kind of lonely feeling was kind of really helped by the kind of lockdown thing. But yeah, started it with no real agenda at all, like not knowing what was going to happen. It's like, in 10 days time, I'm going to have a film. Don't know what it's going to be. And that was my partner at the time, and said, we were just sitting talking, and he was like, well, I've always wanted to sort of tell my story, but I have no idea how. And also, I really don't like talking on camera. It's like, that's a bit of an issue. So we kind of developed this thing, and we were both working. So we only had, in that 10 days, the evenings when we weren't working and the weekends. And it was November. So the evenings were dark. So you couldn't film outside in November. So we basically came up with this thing of, let's film lots of essentially clips and do a voiceover and then try and sort of build a narrative out of it. So it sort of gradually emerged over that week and a half, this thing. And I was like, it might work, it might not, I have no idea. And then it came out and it kind of worked okay. So we were sort of happy with it, really.
Yeah. Some of the locations there, are they some of your favorite places, or like, are they?
Well, a lot of it was filmed around our flat at the time. So we had the advantage of, at the time we were living in the Barbican, which sounds, very decadent. But it just has lots of backdrops. So like the balcony was filmed there. And then he had access to the roof of his building in his office, which gave us the rooftop view of Soho and everything, which was very, very nice. So I was kind of very fortunate in that sense. But and then obviously Chinatown and Soho just plays an important part in the narrative anyway. So we made sure that we did that. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Would anybody else like to ask Adam a question about his film?
Does he still work in the law firm, or has he?
Interestingly, no, he left and decided he moved to Manchester and became a bridging lender, which is, exactly. Everyone went, oh, what? Basically, I'm not going to explain what that is. It's really boring. But he got out of the law thing because it was too pressured, and it was it was trying to basically prove to other people that he was someone when that whole identity that comes with that wasn't really him, and he's kind of sick of living up to everyone else's expectations, and decided to kind of live his own life instead, which was, I think, a really good thing, really kind of freeing thing. So you should all do the same.
Anyone else got a question for Adam? Oh, we're at the back there. There we go.
So I have a quick question. So who did the narrative? Is he doing the script, or is you doing the script? And how did you select this message?
So what happened is, the first thing I did is I sat down and said, let's have a chat. And I recorded it on my phone. And that chat went on. I think we actually had to do it over 2 sessions, just like sitting in the flat on the sofa over a couple of evenings. And it was like loads and loads of stuff. And from that, I figured out, okay, these are the sort of key points. These are the things that will never fit in. Otherwise, we'll just never get time to do it. And these are the most impactful things. These are the things that, it's kind of the advantage of having worked in marketing. You kind of know which things will resonate and which things won't. And then on the basis of that, I was like, I now know what to kind of film. And then I worked at the same time in tandem on a sort of an edited version of that script, which I then kept giving back and then saying, is this okay? Is this, is this the right wording? And so on and so forth, trying to use as much as possible the original wording that he'd used when I'd recorded him. And then we just recorded that into a Zoom recorder with a nicer microphone at the end of the process, and then dubbed it onto the film. And I'd actually read out the script myself as a sort of temporary audio track to try and paste the film. And then, of course, as soon as someone else speaks it, you have to re-edit the whole thing. But that's how that came about. But it was a very collaborative process. Cool. I think there was a guy down here somewhere that was going to say something.
Nicely edited, nicely put together.
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
Yeah, the pacing was very nice. Yeah.
Thanks. I love that we're all getting 3D glasses now. This is very exciting. Oh. I feel like I'm in the 50s.
All right. You're doing 3D next.
Hi, hello.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'll come back to it.
So you say you wanted to do a movie in 10 days.
Yes.
But you didn't mention where the idea was coming from, or what was the purpose? Can you explain a bit?
I'll tell you what it was. There was a random job opportunity for a thing that I knew I was never going to get. But what they wanted was like a portfolio. And there was a gap in the portfolio of stuff that I had. And I was like, oh, I can make a film to fill that gap. I'm never going to really apply for this job, whatever. So it was that spurred me on. It was a really, really random, you know how like during lockdown, everyone's brains just went into this kind of like melted state. It was kind of that. It's just, I saw a thing and I was like, I feel like I want to make a film because I've been sitting in the flat for far too long. So that's basically what happened. You had one more question. Yes. No, that was his sister's wedding. Yeah, a few people have asked that question. That was just it was a photograph that was in the flat, and it was only after we put the film out. It was like, oh yeah, shit. A lot of people are going to think he got married. No, that's his sister. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Adam. That was great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, now your 3D glasses. Yeah. Oh, red over the left eye. That was the left eye. Okay. Yeah, red over the left eye. And sorry, there's a commotion going on at the back there. What's happening? Don't all talk at once. All right, they're coming. So the next film is by Hogan Siegel, and it's called Genital Reveal Party. So here we go.
We decided that there's no better way to find out if it's going to be a boy or a girl than to blow something up.
That was sweet. That was sweet.
Well, I think it's going to be a. Well, I think it's going to be a. What do you about you? Boy.
Well,
What do you about you?
well.
New at 5, gender reveal gone
New at
wrong.
5,
A
gender
father-to-be
reveal
is
gone
killed
wrong.
by an
A father-to-be
explosion
is
while making a
killed
gender reveal
by an
device. It is
explosion
just
while
the
making a
latest
gender
in a
reveal
string of
device. It
recent
is just
deaths
the
to
latest
create
in a string of
over-the-top
recent deaths
displays.
to create over-the-top displays.
7,000 acres with just 5% containment. Investigators say they now know the cause. Someone set off some sort of pyrotechnical smoke device, some sort of firework at a gender reveal party. That sparked the fire that spread north to the Yucaipa Ridge and is now threatening these communities. Residents tell us they've been up all night watching the fire, hoping it would spare their homes.
MC to the stage, please. MC to the stage. Ah, there we go. Could you all please pass your glasses to the right and we'll collect them at the end of the rows. Thank you. Oh, yes, listen, if you want to keep them, just make a donation to Exploding on the way out. Wow, that one had a few twists in it, didn't it? I'm sorry, I'm not sure we had the right kind of glasses because I'm not sure if the color was quite right at the end there. Maybe it should have been more pink. Anyway, moving on. Where are we at, guys? Are we able to show Dagi Brundert's film? Yes? Okay. So it's the next one's called Mutti Telefon by Dagi Brundert.
This pole here. Where are the lines? The wires? The connections? Look, they're gone. What's happening? I'll take a closer look. So what is that? Here's a pole. There's another pole. There's a farmer. There's a farmer's daughter who is allowed to drive a tractor for the first time. There's a pole. The lines between them are gone. Who cut them off? Where are the connections? No longer above ground. Underground. I have to lie down on the ground. Listen. Slow down. There are mushrooms below me. There are microbes below me. It's vibrating. It's crazy. Look, light or mushrooms on the storm. And I have the same inside me, legions of benevolent working microbes, spores, vitamins, bacteria, and critters that fuel my daily de-sliming, that keep me going. Without them, there would only be a hollow ego. Small companies in my ego is entwined around them. Nothing but the mushrooms here underground. The tendrils for communication. I think I have to make a phone call to Mom. It's buzzing in my head. It's buzzing in my body. Trying to tell me things. I'm actually a transformer. People used to make up gods because they wanted to somehow capture all the buzz and needed explanations. The buzz and all the creativity that was just there just had to be tapped. I have to record it and model it in my buzzing head in order to then create new lines and broadcast them. Someone is calling me. What does my mummy tree have to tell me? I'm a little bubble. You're a little bubble. We're all bubbling around here. Closed forms full of organisms that summarize and sort my inner chaotic activities into clusters or into one really good idea. It's not necessarily just me. Listen to what's available. Pick your best buzzing wires. Squander your messy, confused thoughts. Be a broadcast tower. Or just shut up for a while. In every mess, there's an insane number of possibilities. You tie the line to some little hook or some other loose line. And then it hums in new voices and beautiful.
Is Daggy on the Zoom? No? Well, I think we know why she might have a few technical hitches. Amazing stuff. I just wanted to ask, has anybody been following the Melvin Sheldrake mushroom bonanza at the moment? Yeah. Well, I haven't read it yet. We'd have to ask the person at the back. It's fantastic. There's a lot of interest in fungi and their communicative abilities. So that's interesting. That's what I would have asked her if she was there. Next up, we have J.K. Wang, Where the Wind Stands Still. And this is the second trailer in tonight's program.
They had a green car called Happiness Runs. Friday comes and happiness runs out of petrol, and everyone gets out to push, and suddenly see through a gap in the bush a real caravan, just like the one in their dreams. The gypsy doesn't want it, for nowadays it seems his home stays in one place and gleams. They thought and they thought about having Black Bess. Timothy planted some mustard and cresses. They lived in a cupboard and made it their home, and lay there and dreamed of the days when they'd roam up and down all the hills of the north countryside, with the dogs eating buttercups on the wayside, and they'd wave all the city goodbye.
Wow. So Juliet's obviously from the future. So I'm not sure if she was graduating this evening, but she said she might be able to join us. Has she made it? No, she's not made it, but I've got lots of questions. Might be able to pass on a few questions. Anybody got any questions? Sorry? I'll pass on that question. Yeah. All right. So I have been in touch with her. So if you really are interested, then get in touch with us and we'll pass the question on. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for, it's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And we've got Death Star by Duncan Reiki.
This is fantastic. Who made this?
Some Canadian experimental filmmaker called Arthur Lipset.
Who made this?
It's called 2187. Some Canadian experimental filmmaker called Arthur Lipset. It's called 2187.
Wow, this is having a profound influence on me.
Wow, this is having a profound influence on me.
Many people feel that in sort of the contemplation of nature. Many people feel that in sort of the contemplation of nature and living things, they become aware of some kind of living things. They become aware of some kind of or something behind force or something behind this apparent mask in front of us. And they call it God, or they, depending on their particular disposition. To the question, and they call it God, or they, depending on their particular disposition. To the question aspect of it. Thought. To me, is not the same thing as a world full of human beings. Of some aspect of it. To me, is not the same thing as a world full of human beings. And then people say, well, this is good. Let's have more. There's something gone. Somebody walks up, and then people say, well, this is good. Let's have more of that person. Somebody walks up, and you say, your number is 2187.
That's the kind of film I want to make.
Boy,
experimental films, underground films.
That's the kind of film I want to make. Experimental films, underground films.
You're on the wrong side of town. Now give us all your money. You're on the wrong side of town.
Hey,
now give us
leave
all
him
your
alone.
money.
Hey, leave him alone.
You saved my life.
You have to be careful these days.
Do I know you?
You saved my life.
You have to
Joseph
be careful
Campbell.
these days. I
Do
wrote
I
a
know
study
you?
of comparative
Possibly.
mythology called The Hero
Joseph
with
Campbell.
1,000 Faces.
I wrote a study
which
of
I
comparative
explore the
mythology
monomyth
called
of The Hero's
The
Quest.
Hero with 1,000
Wow.
Faces.
Tell me more.
In which I
Well,
explore the
basically, I
monomyth of the
discovered that
hero's
if you
quest.
analyze all the world's
Wow.
mythology,
Tell me more.
you can
Well,
condense it
basically,
down
I
to a
discovered
single
that if you
powerful
analyze
narrative,
all the world's
breaks down
mythology,
into 12
you can
elements,
condense it down
tells
to a
the
single
story of a
powerful
hero
narrative,
who goes on a
which breaks
quest,
down into 12
triumphs
elements,
over his enemies
tells
to
the
find
story of a
happiness.
hero
Man,
who goes on a quest
that's incredible.
and triumphs over his enemies to find happiness.
Man, that's incredible. Have you seen 2187? You've got to see it, Francis. It's doing something totally
seen
new.
2187?
Like he takes
You've
this
got to
found
see it,
footage,
Francis. It's doing
and it's not
something
like he makes
totally
a
new,
meaning
you know?
out of it.
Like he takes this
It's not
found
like
footage.
he's found the secret
and it's not like
hidden
he makes a
meaning
new
that
meaning
was always
out of it.
there.
It's more like
You
he's
know,
found the
it's spiritual.
secret hidden meaning
If Lipset
that
was
was always
working in
there.
Paris or Berlin,
You know,
he would
it's
be
spiritual.
hailed as a genius.
If Lipset was working in Paris or Berlin,
That's it, George.
he
We
would
have
be
the
hailed as a
filmmakers, but we don't
genius.
have the freedom.
I mean,
You know, in Europe,
that's
there's
it,
no
George.
money, but they're
We
free.
have the filmmakers,
Here
but
we got
don't
money,
have the
the
freedom.
studios,
You
the
know, in Europe, there's
establishment,
no money,
but
but
it's
they're
all
free.
dead.
Here we
all
got
the
money, the
faceless
studios,
executives,
the
the
establishment,
unions,
but
the
it's
vast
all
Hollywood
dead.
empire has
all
to
the
be swept
faceless
away.
executives, the
I'm
unions,
talking about a
the vast
revolution,
Hollywood
an
empire has to
independent
be swept
cinema
away.
of independent
I'm
makers.
talking about a revolution, an independent cinema of independent makers.
I know he's right, but I've tried working outside the system. They hated THX
I know he's right,
11 to 38.
but I've tried working outside
They
the
wanted
system.
something popular,
They
but
hated
I still can't get a
THX 11 to
distribution deal
38.
for American Graffiti.
They wanted something popular.
There must be a way to break
I still
out.
can't get a
To use
distribution
the
deal
power
for
of
American
the Hollywood
Graffiti.
system against
There
itself.
must be a way to break out. To use the power of the Hollywood system against itself.
That's it, of course.
That's it.
But is
of
it
course.
possible? Is it possible to use Campbell's hero monomyth as a narrative?
But is it possible? Is it possible to use Campbell's hero monomyth as a narrative?
George, let me be honest. American Graffiti is the most exciting film I've seen in years.
George, let me be honest. American Graffiti is the most exciting film I've seen in years.
What are you working on now?
I want you to come and work with us
idea
at
for a
Fox.
science fiction movie.
Thanks, Mr.
You mean like
What are you working on
2001
now?
or Planet of the Apes?
I've got this idea
No,
for a
this
science
would be a
fiction movie.
fantasy
You mean
adventure
like
for teenagers.
2001 or
Like the old
Planet of the
movie
Apes?
serials. It's
No,
called
this would be a
The Star
fantasy
Wars.
adventure for teenagers.
Intriguing.
Like the
The
old
hero
movie
is a young
serials.
man
It's
who
called
goes on a quest
Star
and
Wars.
triumphs over his
Intriguing.
enemies to find
The hero is a young man
Fabulous.
who goes
I'll
on a
have a
quest and
contract drawn up
triumphs over
tomorrow.
his enemies to find happiness. Fabulous. I'll have a contract drawn up tomorrow.
With astounding agility, old Ben's laser sword sparks to life, and in a flash,
With astounding
an arm
agility,
lies on the
old
floor.
Ben's laser sword
The rodent
sparks
is
to
cut in
life,
two,
and in a
the
flash,
giant
an arm
multiple-eyed
lies on the
creature
floor.
lies double.
The rodent is cut
from
in two,
chin to groin.
and the giant
Ben
multiple-eyed
carefully
creature
and
lies
precisely
double,
turns off his
cut
laser
from
sword
chin to groin.
and replaces it on his
Ben
utility belt.
carefully and precisely turns off his laser sword and replaces it on his utility belt.
Congratulations, George. American Graffiti is a hit.
Congratulations,
George. The studios will be fighting
American
to hire
Graffiti
you.
is a hit.
But if you do stay with
kids
us, we're
love it.
willing to
The
raise your
studios will be
director's
fighting
fee
to
to
hire you.
$500,000.
But if you do stay with
I don't
us,
care
we're
about the
willing to
money.
raise your
It's the movie
director's
I
fee
care
to
about.
$500,000.
You keep the fee, but
I don't
want the
care about the money.
copyrights, the rights to
It's
the
the
sequel
movie
and
I
all the
care about.
merchandise.
You keep the fee, but I
Fine.
want the copyrights,
It's
the
a
rights to
deal.
the sequels and all the merchandise.
So,
Fine.
all
It's
he
a deal.
wants is the rights and merchandise.
It
All
doesn't
he
matter.
wants
We just go along with this
is the
space war
rights
garbage.
and
Let him get it
merchandise.
out of his system.
It doesn't matter. We just go
Meanwhile, we
along
line
with
up
this space
another
war
American
garbage.
Graffiti for
Let
next
him get
year.
it out of his system.
You really think he's that
Meanwhile,
good?
we line
He's
up
young,
another
but there's
American
something
Graffiti
there.
for next year.
A power
You
which
really
we
think
can
he's
use.
that good?
He's young, but there's something there.
Back up!
Power
You gotta
which we
move
can
back!
use.
That's it. There were laser strikes all around.
Back up! You gotta
Jesus.
move back.
You have
That's
to react
it.
with more
There
fear.
were laser strikes
more
all around.
panic. We're
Jesus.
gonna put the lasers in.
You
as
have
an
to
effect
react with
later.
more fear.
Jesus.
More panic.
Cut.
We're going to
set it up
put
again.
the lasers in
I'm
as an
so
effect
hot
later.
in this plastic.
Jesus.
What is this shit?
Cut. Set it
Fucking
up
Nazis
again.
in space
so
with a
hot
giant
in this
fucking
plastic.
dog. It's
What is this
embarrassing.
shit?
It's not a dog.
Fucking Nazis
It's
in
not a
space
fucking
with a
dog,
giant
all right.
fucking
It's
dog.
not a
It's
dog.
embarrassing.
It's not a dog. It's
I
not
don't
a
know what I'm
fucking
doing
dog, all
anymore.
right. It's not a
None
dog.
of it makes sense. The crew hate me.
I don't know
The
what I'm
lighting
doing.
sucks.
None
I have
of
to
it makes
fight
sense.
for every frame.
The crew
You can
hate
do
me.
it, George.
The lighting
You've just
sucks.
got to have faith in yourself.
I have to fight for
Let all
every
that
frame.
shit go.
You can do it,
I know
George.
you can do
You've
it.
just got to have faith
You're
in
right.
yourself.
I've
Let
just
all
got to
that
find
shit
the inner
go.
strength.
I know you
I've
can
got
do
to
it.
follow my own path.
You're right. I've just got to find the inner strength. I've got to follow my own path.
You did it, George. Alan sent me the figures. Star Wars took $410 million at the box office as of last week.
Star Wars
What are you
took
going to do now?
$410 million
I'm
at the
going
box
totally
office as of
independent.
last week.
I'm going to finance
What are you going to
and
do
produce
now?
all my own films.
I'm going
The
totally
American New
independent.
Wave.
I'm going to
all those
finance and
experimental
produce all my
films
own
we
films.
dreamed
The
of.
American
Yes.
New Wave.
But first I want
all
to
those
finish the Star
experimental
Wars trilogy.
films we dreamed of.
There's so
Yes.
much more to the story.
But first
and
I want
owe
to
it the
finish the
fans.
Star Wars trilogy. There's so much more to the story, and I owe it to the fans.
You won't regret this, George. It's time you moved on to do the things you've always dreamed of. All the things you meant to do, all
do the
those
things
years
you've
ago.
always dreamed
Think
of.
of all the
All the
independent
things you meant to do,
experimental
all
films
those
you
years
can make
ago.
with $4
Think of
billion.
all the
And
independent
with the stock
experimental
options that will
films you
soon
can make
rise
with
to over
$4 billion.
$10 billion.
And with the stock options that will soon rise to over $10 billion.
In sort of the contemplation of nature and
Sort of the contemplation of nature and
living things,
in
they
communication
become
with
aware of some
other
kind of
living things. They become aware of some
force
kind of
or something behind
force
this apparent
or
mask,
something
which
behind this apparent
we see
mask,
in front of us.
which
And they call it God,
we
or
see
depending on their
in front of
particular
us.
disposition. To the
and
question
they
of
call it
feelings or
God, or
thought.
they, depending on their particular disposition. To the
Of some
question
aspect
feelings
of
or
it.
thought.
To me, is not the same thing as a world full of human
Of
beings.
some aspect of it. To me, is not the
something
same
gone,
thing as a
there's
world
something
full of
missing.
human
And then the
beings.
people say, well, this is good, let's have more
There's
of it.
something gone,
And somebody
there's something
walks up
missing.
and you
And
say,
then
your
people
number is
say, well, this is good,
2187,
let's
isn't it?
have more of it.
And somebody walks up and you say, your number is 2187, isn't it?
Mr. Riki, are you here? Wow. How on earth did you manage to get together such a low budget?
Yes, it costs nothing. Literally.
Wow.
Any questions?
Just to talk about where all those images came from, where that it was so like high definition and sort of airbrushed 60s or something. You tell me, what was all that?
It was all AI. All the images were AI. And all the dialogue was AI. There were no actors involved in any of it.
Did you
Yeah.
do all the voices?
No, none of the voices. All the voices were generated by AI dialogue generators.
Wow, scary.
Was the script AI as well? No, I wrote the script.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Admit it. Admit it, you're a robot.
No, not yet.
So what did you tell the AI to do to make it look like real?
So you have to be really specific.
Sorry,
you have
it's
to
not-
kind of spell out exactly what you want to see, and then it gives you like.
So did you say I want it to look like? I mean, I might be wrong. You tell me, but like 60s Technicolor or whatever it was supposed to be. Did you tell it that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it gives you loads of images, and then you have to choose which one you want.
And is it
It's
true
really
that thing? I'm
difficult.
probably being stupid, but that thing in the alley where he met that bloke and he saved him from a mugging, is that true? How they met?
No. It is true that he became highly influenced by Joseph Campbell. Most of it's true. Yeah.
Did you tell the AI to give Coppola those sad eyes?
No.
I love that.
Coppola looks really good, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Alan Ladd really involved, or his son, or?
It was his son, yeah. Alan Ladd Jr. was the
Yeah.
producer who put up the money for Star Wars, yeah.
And did he look like his dad? Because that looked like
He looked
Alan
a bit
Ladd.
like him, but the AI thought he looked a lot more like him.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is the Joseph Campbell hero's journey a whole parody of
the way he thought about Star Wars, or is it could it be something that could happen to all of us?
Because of the way Lucas used Joseph Campbell, it's become a kind of template for every fucking Hollywood movie that you now see. Because of that.
That's why it's like a parody.
Yeah, if you get a book on how to write screenplays, it will use that.
Joseph Campbell.
It will use those stages. It will use Joseph Campbell. Yeah, every single fucking Hollywood.
That's why I found it funny.
Is a Joseph Campbell movie.
Spot on.
Yeah. Oh, and you must see the actual film. The film 2187. That's a real film, and that's the film that George Lucas became obsessed with, and he was so obsessed with it that if you watch Star Wars, the cell that they keep Princess Leia in is cell 2187.
Thank you so much, Duncan. That was great. Okay, let's push on. Put this behind us. Next, we got a film from Claire Mask. Cancer is a ticking clock, and it's very short. So.
So for fuse immunization,
there are actually two components, look and feel. For the first part
so
of
for
the
fuse
exam,
immunization,
looking, you want to stand or sit in front of a mirror. For the first part of the exam, you want to look at both breaths. You want to stand or sit in front of a mirror. With your clothes off, you want to look at both breaths. Examine if there are any differences between the two. Examine the nipples. Examine the nipples. Examine the nipples. See if there's any difference between one rather than the other. One rather than the other. You want to while standing. You actually want to turn your arms side to side. This will bring out while standing. You actually want to turn your arms above your head. This will bring out any brings in while standing. You actually want to if you're standing like this, or you have this will bring out if you're standing like this, above your head. If you're standing like this, and you use only one of your other mouths, you can actually separate. First, you want to while you're standing like this, you use only one of your mouths side to side. Actually separate, not to get it all. While standing, raise your arms. One of your raise both arms up like this. This will draw any fingers or your head, or you can go standing like this. This will draw any fingers your head, or you can go standing like this.
the inside is full of explosives. So we somehow have to remove it.
Hey, thanks to Claire, she can't make it. She's in America. We're at the time is our final film of the evening, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for coming. It's a great audience. Thank you. And just to say that Exploding Cinema is a collective of volunteers, and anybody can join Exploding Cinema. Anybody can send a film in. So if you want to find out more about that, we'd love to hear from you. All right, so our last film is Lifts by Rohan Sudan. Who said he was coming. Are you here, Rohan? Oh, brilliant. All right, so here we go. Lifts.
Hello? Mama, we spoke about this already. No. Mama, we spoke about this already. I'm going to a party, remember? I'm going to a party, remember? I didn't even leave that long ago. I didn't even leave that long ago. Mum, have you taken your meds today? Mum, have you taken your meds today? Okay. Okay. What are you saying, little man? What are you saying, little man? Yeah, look, don't worry about that, alright? Yeah, look, I'll sort it when don't worry about that, alright? Okay. I'll sort it when I get back. Okay? That's right, bro. Okay, that's right, bro. Nah, not this one. Nah. But when you're older, not this one. You'll go to bear parties, trust me. But when you're older, you'll go to bear parties, trust me. Right, look, I gotta go, yeah? Right, look, I gotta go, yeah? In a bit. Yo, what you say? Yo, what you say? You good? Let's just get this over with, yeah? You good? Let's just get this over with, yeah? Look, we went over this, yeah? We won't be there for long. We went over this, yeah? No, this is the last place. We won't be there for long. Fam, this will help you. No, this is the last place you want to be, but fam, this will help you. Yeah. Sure. Both of them. Yeah. Sure. How's your mum anyway? Yeah. How's your mum anyway? She's alright. Yeah. She's alright. She's getting worse, actually. It's getting worse, actually. The other night she walked out. The other night she walked out. No phone or anything. I stayed up. Couldn't sleep, so I stayed up looking for her. She came back like nothing happened. She came back like nothing happened. I was so angry with her. You know, I was so angry with her. Like it's her fault. It's not. It's not. She still looks after me, my brother. She still looks after me, my brother. I guess she does the best she can. I guess she does the best she can. It'll be all good, man. I promise. It'll be all good, man. I promise. Your phone's ringing. Your phone's ringing. Yeah, what you saying?
Good, bro.
Yeah, what you saying?
Good, bro. Take your head down.
Yo, Farhan, yeah?
Yeah.
Relax, yo, bro. Farhan, yeah? Everything's good.
Yeah.
Relax, bro. Everything's good. Innit there?
Everything's good. Yeah. Everything's good.
Right. This is it, yeah? Right. Just remember, this is it, yeah? Keep it quick. Just remember, keep it quick. Not acting like some big man. No theatrics. Just find out where it is and we take it. Not acting like some big man. You just find out where it is and we take it. 2 minutes. No one needs to get hurt. Be done quick. No one needs to get hurt.
Say fuck about.
Be done quick.
Say fuck about.
What? You brought the fucking knife, didn't you? Fam, we said we weren't gonna need it.
We might need it.
Fam, we said we weren't gonna need it.
We might need it. Yo, you ready? Yo, you ready? What does this mean? It means no. What does this mean? It means no. You said you were gonna be ready. You always do this shit. You're gonna be ready. Shut the fuck up. You always do this shit, man. I'm tired. Shut the fuck up.
Yo, look at me. Yo, look at me. You got a family or something? Someone you're got a family or something?
Yeah.
Someone you're doing this for?
We've got 3 younger sisters. Yeah. We've got 3 younger sisters.
I know how you feel. I got a little brother too. I know how you feel. My mum's ill. I got a little brother too, and so I don't know what I'm doing either. My mum's ill. So I don't know what I'm doing either. Because we're doing this. But it'll be alright though.
For them. Because we're doing this. All right? For them. All right? This better fucking work. Better fucking work.
What happened? Samir, what the fuck happened? Everything was good. Samir, what the fuck happened? We were inside, good. We were in the right room and he just... We were inside, yeah? He was fucking wrong! We were in the right room and he just... there. And then what? He was fucking wrong! It wasn't there. If Mo hadn't pulled out the fucking knife, we all would have been home by now. What? Mo hadn't pulled out the fucking knife, we all would have been home by now.
You picked the bell, you weren't getting us anywhere.
Just had like some big man.
You picked the bell, you weren't getting us anywhere.
Fucking knife! You didn't have to bring a fucking knife!
Look, think about something else, yeah? Right, think about your sisters, alright? Think about something else, yeah? Right, think about your sisters, alright?
Samir, you never said. Samir, why'd you do this? You never said. Why'd you do this?
My parents, they got deported when I was 18. They got deported when I was 18. Wasn't their fault. My younger brother and sister here. Left me, my younger brother and sister here. Yeah. I got two younger siblings that I need to put through uni. Last thing I want is for them to end up like me. What about you?
I got nicked a few years back.
I got nicked a few years
I did my time. I had to get out to look after the family.
It's
impossible getting a job. When everyone sees
impossible
you're
getting a job.
Criminal.
When everyone sees you as a fucking criminal.
It's now I've got Farhan, he can help me out. I shouldn't have born here. Fuck this. Move.
Fuck this. Move.
Do you remember back in primary school?
Remember back in primary school?
Where the trees were?
At the back of the fields, where the trees were.
That game where you made up those monsters.
We used to play that game where you made up those monsters. We'd have to run away from them.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. Why?
I always used to follow you. And when the monsters
I always
would
used to
catch up
follow
to
you.
me,
And when the
you'd have to
monsters would
save
catch
me,
up to me,
but I never
you'd have to
saved
save me, but
It was
I
fun.
never saved you, and
Thought it was fun, you know.
it's fine with that. I just thought it was fun, you know.
One day when I got home,
One day when I got
played the
home,
same game with my brother.
I played the same game with my
Did the
brother.
exact same thing.
Did the exact same thing.
When the monsters caught up to him, I just covered him.
Monsters caught up to him, and just covered him.
And I was protecting him from the waves.
And I was protecting him from the waves.
And that was the first time I felt it.
That was the first time I felt it.
That feeling of giving everything.
That feeling of giving everything. That was
I guess that's what we're all feeling right now.
I guess that's what we're all feeling right
Just
now.
went about it the wrong way.
Just went about it the wrong way.
I shouldn't have followed you.
I should have followed you.
I'm sorry, Dev.
I'm sorry, Deb.
Would you like to come and chat about your film? Have we go?
Can you hear me?
That was great.
Thanks. It's not meant to be that dark. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing how much you got into that short amount. A great piece of filmmaking. All of the things that were, all the tension building and so on, the pacing of it. So well done to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It seems like quite a heartfelt story. Where did the story come from?
Yeah, it kind of came from. So I had a mate who unfortunately got into crime, and I saw his face in the paper, and I was like, "It's a bit interesting." But I knew him from like when we were kids. And I knew like his mom and his family. So it's like, you read this article and you're like, "That's not who the person is." And I kind of wanted to get in, why people get into crime, and it's not just black and white like certain newspapers.
When you know them at school. And
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
not in the Daily Mail.
Yeah, yeah. I really like the sound actually in the car. It really had that sort of real kind of intimate, sort of small room sound? How did you record it?
Well, I mean, it was a Vauxhall Corsa, if anyone was a car fan, so it was a really tight squeeze for 6 people, but we had mics around the car, and yeah, I just kind of copied Drive, if anyone's seen that film.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully not. And yeah, just kind of went from there.
Amazing. Has anybody got any questions they'd like to ask Rohan? This film.
It wasn't AI, by the way, if anyone's asking.
How was it so polished? I was going to say, was it polished by AI? Because it looked a bit like the other one in a way.
Don't know how to take that, but it was, I mean, like I said, it's a bit darker than it's meant to be. That's probably my fault, but you know, we filmed and it was a skeleton crew, minimal lighting in actually down the road near Oval. We filmed it. Thank you. No, that was a joke. But yeah, no, we kind of wanted to go for that really stylistic. I mean, even from like the visuals to the music, just everything to be really kind of a bit different.
Yeah, the music struck me as a bit like, you know, like Blade Runner and the lighting. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Vangelis inspiration.
Yeah. Nice.
It was about 2,000. So I severely underpaid quite a few people, and they didn't sign contracts, so it's fine.
Are you going to make some more films?
Yeah, they will be paid though on new ones, but I've got another film that's just completed, so hopefully that'll come out in the next year or so.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you find getting permissions for various things? This is a completely self-motivated thing. I'm making a film that is on a very similar tone and setting to this, and I'm like, cool, this is potentially expensive unless you get good favors and stuff. So how did you find it?
In terms of like filming?
Yeah, and getting permissions on
Yeah.
various locations and stuff.
Well, does anyone here work for the Lambeth Council at all? Before I completely slag them off.
I know about them.
Yeah, they're a massive pain in the ass. They kept asking us questions like how did it portray Lambeth? It's in a car. Like, what do you expect? But it's there are many phone calls. You know, I had a day job when I was doing this. I was a runner, and you know, I was constantly taking calls from Lambeth Council, and you know, I was getting really, really mad because they make no sense. But it was, you know, you just have to kind of look into it and do a lot of research, get prepared, and don't piss them off because obviously that didn't work.
Fair enough.
It's interesting.
Are those professional actors in your film?
At the point of filming, they were either fresh out of school, going into school. A lot of it, for most of them, it was their first job. So it's actually, you know, I think the main guy, Omar, who's not here, he's just got a feature lead role in that. So he's going to be famous soon. You can say you saw him here first.
They did really well.
I'll pass on that message, but yeah.
Oh, we got one more here.
It's not really a question, but it's just a comment that I thought it was a really stylish film, very economically made, you know, but yeah, it got all that, as you said, produced all that kind of tension and things like that. And it's really sort of high quality, but within this very constrained set of images, really, or set of, it's really good. Excellent.
Thank you
Look
very much.
forward to seeing you on next one.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rowan. Yeah, thanks for coming. Join Exploding Cinema. Send us more films. And I'm not sure how long we're open. We have to stop now. Oh, the next show. So the next show's in Wales. That's how do you pronounce it, Matt? Radar. It's in Radar. That's next week. And then we've got one in Margate in 22nd June. That's right. And the next one here is September. So have a happy summer, everyone. And if you've got any ideas for, excellent venues for Exploding Cinema, let us know. All right. Good night.